Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tommy, just Tommy, aka Dizzy McNatural, baby. And today's video, Steam possibly going to the next Xbox. Let's jump into it, shall we?
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better. I am better.
So as you can see here, this picture has been surfacing the internet the past week, I guess it has been, and this is kind of old news, I guess you could say, if a week ago is old news. But what we have here now is opening 1 billion doors with Xbox. So this image right here was apparently leaked or prematurely released from Xbox, and it was through The Verge's website. So if you look close here, this looks like a new UI layout for maybe the Xbox Series consoles, possibly the next Xbox. Looks like mobile as well as possibly PC. It looks like maybe right here. But if you look up here at these tabs, this is recently added. We got installed, owned, Game Pass, and then we have a little tab right here that says Steam. Right smack dab in the middle of owned, action adventures, so on and so forth. So I don't know how legitimate this picture is. However, a lot of people are saying like this, it was given to The Verge from Xbox, and it was just whoever looked over this must not have caught this little hiccup right here for Steam. And if we go over here to IGN, I don't like using their website at all, but they have an article about this. It says, it's easy to miss, but undeniably strange considering Valve's digital PC storefront doesn't really share any functionality with Microsoft gaming hardware in this way. The image has also now been removed from the post, so that kind of gives a little bit more validity, if you will, signaling that the Xbox team wasn't interested in leaving it up after a few keen-eyed readers noticed Steam's inclusion. The Verge's sources said the company is indeed working on an update that will connect users not only to their Steam library, but to other PC storefronts too. Meaning like the Epic Store, or like Ubisoft, and so on and so forth, or Green Man's Gaming, or GOG, well, whatever. If accurate, it would mean players could see every game installed on their PC and which storefront they've purchased them through. The site said Microsoft is still in the early stages when it comes to the development of this potential UI update, so don't expect to see any update rollout soon, if ever, until more concrete information is revealed. So basically, this is kind of a rumor, which I hate talking about, because if this is not even accurate, this could just be a mock-up of a UI interface that Microsoft or Xbox wants to do. You know what I mean? This could just be a mock-up marketing thing to show like, hey, this is what the tabs are all going to look like. I don't know, man. With journalism the way it is now, man, it seems like you got to kind of, speculation is like the big thing. Either speculation or console warring is like the things that get the clicks and get the views. It's kind of sad, really. Any mention of Steam in an official Xbox UI update mock-up should raise eyebrows, even if it was unintentionally published. Microsoft has spent the last decade slowly bringing more of its titles not only to the PC, but other platforms too. Some highlights include games like Pentiment, Grounded. Okay, they're talking about the games that went over to the PlayStation. They continue to blur. Microsoft has continued to blur the lines between Xbox and PC for the last few years, and we already know this. So, yeah, I mean, my thoughts on the whole thing, if there's any truth to this, I'm more curious on how things are going to operate more than anything. Am I concerned that this is going to kill the Xbox brand? No, I think the Xbox brand is in very good health. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing things like this. If it was dying and going away, or they were in dire straits with the Xbox brand, you would see it kind of go the Sega route, where they're not going to really be in the forefront. They're not going to be in like the public eye talking about this stuff. They just kind of want to quietly bow out. But it doesn't seem like that's what's happening here with Xbox. It seems like Xbox is in everyone's faces more now than ever before. So I don't think that's actually going to really have any kind of negative impact on the Xbox. But of course, you have to define what the Xbox is, because in our minds, millennials or gamers who grew up with the Super Nintendos, and then we are the first ones who really got to experience online gaming with the 360 and the PlayStation 3. A lot of people that still cover this stuff or talk about this stuff on social media like X or YouTube, a lot of them still are stuck in the past where it's like this brand versus that brand. And you have to understand that the Xbox brand is no longer just tied to hardware. And I think ultimately that's where they wanted to go with the brand, but I don't think they had that vision years ago when Bill Gates was still, controlling everything with the Xbox hardware. Another thing you have to understand is with Microsoft doing marketing like this, they are not just appealing to people that have been gaming for decades, because they know a lot of those gamers are going to be against this type of stuff. When they say things like this and everything is an Xbox, they are marketing to the youth. I can tell you right now, my kids don't care what brand is where. All they care about is what game, where can they play their game at least my kids don't even really care about performance. They don't care if it runs at 30 or 60 or 40 frames or 120 or 250. They really don't care. And that's really what gaming has always been about and has been lost on our generation, the older gamers. We are so hung up on what's the graphics look like, what's my quality look like, because that's what we grew up on. We grew up on the next game is going to look even better than the last one that we played. And that's where we kind of measured everything. But the youth nowadays is not like that. They don't care. As long as they're having fun, that's all that matters. And that's all that really should matter when it comes to video games. But that when you see things like this, it's because Microsoft and Xbox, they're no longer really catering to us. We're not the target audience. It's the youth. It's the youth that they are trying to grab their attention. That's why they're saying, hey, everything's an Xbox, guys. Your phone's an Xbox. Your Xbox is an Xbox. Oh, your Nintendo Switch is an Xbox because you can play our games there too. Like, that's what it is. As silly as that sounds, when it first came out, like everything is an Xbox, even myself, I'm like, that's kind of silly. But you really have to start. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. You could be a drone, a fanboy all day long and be brain dead. But if you're really critically thinking, which are the people that I want to have conversations with, people who are actually looking and thinking about this stuff, you have to look at it like, why are they marketing things like this? And it's because that's what they're trying to capture. They're trying to capture the youth with this type of marketing. But yeah, the picture that leaked, it seems more now that I read this article that it was just a mock-up that Microsoft gave The Verge to kind of see what the new UI is going to potentially be like, if there is going to be a new UI and integration with storefronts. It would be really cool if we saw that. I'd be for it, just because we're in uncharted territory right now when it comes to the gaming industry. Like, Microsoft's leading the way when it comes to doing things different or innovating. And there are companies that are kind of stuck in the past and they want to do things that worked for them prior. But it doesn't seem like the industry is going that way any longer. But moving on from that, I want to cover real quick. We had Destin do a video, an interview with Sean Layden, and he talks about how he's deathly concerned with the way the future of the gaming is. And every chance that I see, and this is no knock to Sean Layden, but every time I see him in some sort of capacity of YouTube or some sort of interview, it seems like any chance that he gets to bash Xbox, he kind of takes it. And I was always wondering, like, why? Like, even now he's not working for Sony, but why is he now still like kind of looking at Microsoft and Xbox in a negative fashion? Until I went and looked him up, and it turns out he went from Sony, leaving Sony in, let me see here. He retired in 2021 due to exhaustion, believing the launch of the PlayStation 5 was a good time to put the pin in the legacy. So he kind of saw the writing on the wall for what it was. So in 2021, he left Sony PlayStation SIE, but then he went over to Tencent Games, and he's still currently there, which, let's do our math. Tencent is a direct competitor to Microsoft because they're the largest publishing company out. And what are we getting into right now? As much as you fanboys don't want to, admit it, we are getting into this publisher competition that has nothing to do with the consumer. It has everything to do with these big multi-billion-dollar companies that want to buy up all the publishing rights to the video games. So with him coming out and kind of bashing or looking at Microsoft in a negative fashion still to this day, I was just curious on why that is, and I just recently found out that, it's because he works with Tencent now. And even with Tencent, he's only a strategic advisor. Well, what does that mean? What does a strategic advisor mean? You strategically advise on how can we make the most money out of our IPs that we own. But I'm just a consumer at the end of the day. I didn't work in the gaming industry like this gentleman did. But again, hey, it's all love to Sean Layden. He's still in the gaming industry. So you do you, my boy. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Are you guys for Steam possibly coming to the Xbox hardware at any time in the future? Whether that's current hardware or next-gen hardware, you let me know. Do you think it's going to be a bad thing for the industry, for the gaming industry? Is it going to be hurtful for the Xbox brand? Let's discuss down in the comments section below. Make sure you like the video if you enjoy my content, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, it's been your boy, it's been real, and I am out. Later.